Good evening YouTubers, welcome back to Shrigleytube Tv, episode 74. Just want to start by saying massive thanks to everybody that's commented on last Sunday's video and my appalling gear changes, and also on the Churchill grinder video where my mate Bernie the magician, the electrician magician, who came out and sorted out the wiring. What a fantastic job he did. So it was nice to see that people appreciated the machine and what it is and how special it is. Anyway, been a good week this week, got loads of work done, so that's all good. And I had a bit of a special job coming as well, which we'll see in a bit. It was a 5-bearing sandcast imp engine from back in the day, like 1965. Belongs to Glen, and this engine was originally like what would have gone in the 998 works type rally imp. So it's a sandcast block, it's got 5-bearing crank in it, it's taller than standard, and originally it would have been fitted with a deep angle cylinder head. Now these cylinder heads were made by Climax for the Roots competition department, and I believe from people who messaged in and informed me of the history, because obviously I wasn't around, that the plan was to go into production to do like a 998 imp with this 5-bearing bottom end and this deep angle head. But it was around this time that Roots got in trouble, so financially, so I think it all got axed, hence why there was only ever 10 of them. Now Glen has somehow managed to find a deep angle head to go with his 5-bearing cast bottom end, so he brought all that to show me, and we've made a plan on how we're going to go about doing it, and hopefully by the end of next week we should have something pretty much ready to run on the dyno. Anyway, that's all good and very exciting for me. So also had Tim and Gretty. Tim's just texted me to say, real nice text, saying that he'd managed to finish 15th overall in the Goodwood Rally with his Mark II Escort. That's the YB engine that we did, the Cosworth YB we did a couple of weeks ago. So well done Tim, absolutely superb result, and Gretty of course for co-driving with him. And we'll look forward to hearing how you get on. Maybe we'll get a midweek video with some in-car from you. Anyway, I won't waffle anymore, let you go on with the video. Hope you enjoy what you see, and if I don't see you midweek, I'll look forward to seeing you on Sunday at 7. Have a great week. Bye for now. Right YouTubers, I've got my pal David in the workshop this morning. He's brought his imp engine with him. Now he's not a fan of YouTube or being on it, so he's in the background being very kind and taking a 930 engine apart for me. It's a bit of a labour exchange. Well, I say a labour exchange, I kind of owe him, because David came to Brands Hatch and helped prepare my car for me on the day, and he worked with Russell to make sure everything stayed on, didn't fall off. So he had a few problems with his engine basically. Just he'd built it, and to be fair, without getting too much into detail, he hadn't made any mistakes. He was a victim of what we'll call shoddy parts, so he ended up with no oil pressure and bearings delaminating and things like that. So he's took it all apart again and brought it all up here. He's had the crankshaft ground down his end, which is a very nice job. We've checked all the radiuses, they all seem nice and flowing. Somehow they've managed to resize the mains at the big ends, which I don't know how they've done that, because obviously, as you know, it's a serrated edge, so we're gonna have to measure them. I suspect there'll be a thou up or whatever. Whether that will affect it or not, I don't know. Got some nice old school bearings. So I put my bar in it, and we're just going through the mains. Now we had them line board the block, which made me nervous. Anyway, it's not bad, but we're just giving it a bit of a final fettle. So I put this bar in, and then we just get a witness mark in the bearing basically, and then it tells you whether it's biting it all over or touching it all over or whatever. But you can see how shiny it is. It's had quite a lot of material removed, and then what they do is they take the other material off these faces, and that shrinks the size of the hole, if you can imagine, so that we can then get it right. So this bar is turned to the nominal size of the mains tunnel, so when it's torqued up, I expect to feel a nice bit of stiction like that. That tells me that the hole is the right size. It's very basic, but it does work. Anyway, I'm going to crack on with this. I'm going to try and persuade David to come on YouTube later on in the week, because he's booked a hotel, because we need to get this thing with the sunbonnet by tea time tonight. So the glue can dry overnight and we can dyno it tomorrow. It's a 998, he's got some swim 40s for it, etc. So we're hoping to get this done. So I'll have to be brief in my video and get on with some work. It's Saturday afternoon, and actually got this together. It's all torqued up. Turns quite nicely. Resized all the mains. Put it back together. Obviously, it has run before it ran out of oil pressure last time. So something a bit different than normal is the pistons are actually proud, but because he's running a head gasket that's like 1.2 mil thick, we can afford to run the pistons 20 thou high without them coming into contact with the head. So that's all fine. So we'll get the sump glued on before home time tonight, hopefully, and then we can run it tomorrow. And then going through here, we've got Bernie, busy at work. He's a grafter, Bernie. Oh, hang on. He's sat down on the job.
I am.
You all right there, Burns?
I'm all right, thank you, yeah.
How's the white? Oh, mate, look at the box. Wow.
What a fantastic job he's done. What would you do without people like Bernie?
Mate, you know what? I'd be knackered.
Should charge him double, really.
You should really, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I was thinking was, where's the timer that I can choose the year I want to go back to? That there.
On there, yeah.
Can you do 1984 first? That's the year I fancy going back to. B-Reg. Yeah?
B-Reg, yeah.
B-Reg. Perfect. Go and buy some Sierras. Yeah, wicked. Right,
I
well.
was still at school then.
Irish. What do you reckon, Bernie? Is he going to run today? No. Another day.
Cable's too short.
Cable's too short. Flipping heck.
We've had to lift it up because of that grease nipple.
Oh, yeah. Right, no, I understand. Right, we'll get some more cable then. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. Good morning, YouTubers. It's Tuesday morning. I've been getting on with this engine of David's. Been doing a great labour exchange. David's been doing some engine stripping for me. The little 930s, all the ones that have got water damage. So I've been getting on with his engine. It's gone together really nice. I'll just turn the camera around and do a flip. Right, so what this is it's a 998. I did him a dry liner block some time ago and he's built it himself. I've just redone the mains tunnel, put new bearings in, he's had the crank round, etc. Pistons have stayed the same, the head's the same. It's on a head gasket this, so it's on one of the new club head gaskets, and it's got an R20 camshaft which is just timed in. He's done the head porting himself, etc. So yeah, we're going to get this on the dyno in this morning because obviously he stayed in the hotel last night and he's got to get back on his way back to work for tomorrow. So yeah, going to do that. I think everything's looking quite good. I'm really pleased with it. I think it's going to be should be quite a nice little engine. Maybe we'll see 75, 78 foot-pound of torque. It's on twin 40s, so we'll get this off the bench now. I'm going to let him put the last few bits on it and we'll run it up together. Glenn has just arrived with my Christmas treat. Wow, what's this, Glenn?
It's 1200.
You're 1200 out of your red Davry, and you've seen some in-car footage of Glenn cruising around with this. Now, this is a very special engine, this, because you'll notice it's a curly block, and it's also a taller block. So this was in well, I've looked after this engine for a long time. It used to be in the German chap's car called a DRW, which was a little single-seater that competed in the Guards trophy racing with the HSCC for a long time. And then the car got sold on, and this was the spare because he had a new 1150 for it. So this was the original 5-bearing Ian Carter works. This is like a works engine from back in the day, you know, like a tiny Lewis engine. Now, where's the treat bit that I'm really excited about, mate? Is it back there?
It's hidden.
Somehow Glenn, he's a bit of a guru on the computer. He's good at finding stuff. He's actually found the correct head to go with this 5-bearing bottom end, and I feel very honoured that he's given me the job of snotting it on top. Got some more grey glue and some nails and a big hammer. I'm going to try and make it all run for him in the next week or so. So yeah, really excited. So we'll get this out and then we'll get a video of the head, Glenn. Right, we've finished unloading the treasure from Glenn's car into the workshop, and yeah, this is that lovely Ian Carter 1200. This old cam cover, Glenn, what I'm going to do with that is we're just going to pension that off into the scrap bin because they're quite heavy. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll put you a nice standard one on, and because it's you, I think I'll aquablast it as well and paint it black for you. How do you feel about that?
Oh, that's fantastic. It's good to know.
See, always looking after the customer. So this is an imp head, and this is the deep angle head that Glenn's brought along to be fitted, and you can see the inlet port. The angle is mega on it. Look at that. over the original imp head. Interesting as well, you can see the Coventry Climax part of it, because Coventry Climax did all this for the Roots group. It's exhaust inlet rather than inlet exhaust, so the camshaft is a totally different layout. It's also been Climax based, it's on a 5 bearing cam carrier because they were into doing the job properly. Now this is all fresh, isn't it, you tell me?
Fresh from about 20 odd years ago, where it's been hiding.
Yeah, it's got some Iskies on there, some Iski valve springs, the blue ones. That's the inlet manifold. So there's all sorts here. There's even a set of original 74mm Hepalite pistons. But and you can see that's the exhaust cutout for the valve, and it's got a great big cutout in it now for the inlet. But I'll be honest, I'm a little bit nervous about how close it all is to the top ring. So I think we're probably better off putting it all on like a forged piston, and we'll take the absolute minimum amount of material out of the new piston to give it the valve clearance. Obviously, not only are the valves the other way around, so instead of being inlet exhaust, they are also on a shallower angle. So if you look at the imp, you look at this, you'll see it's a much better angle on this. So it's a completely different position for the valve cutout. And just moving the head around, it does actually fit the cam cover, so we can put this lovely Carter cam cover straight on here. And there's different types. We reckon there's about 10 of these in existence. Obviously another customer, Dennis, has got a couple of them. I've got one, and then Glen's got one, so we know of at least 4, maybe 5. So this is a later one because it's got the extra ribs on it. So the first thing we're going to do before we do anything else is we're going to put this on this block when it's bare and make sure that the wheel strings are concentric to the liners, because if that's not the case, we're going to have to weld it all up and then remachine it all, which I don't really want to do, but I will do if I have to, if that makes sense. We've got to get it right from the very start before we start messing with anything else. So that's our first job, and I've promised Glenn I'm going to turn this round in like a week, God knows how, but it can't hang around because I've squeezed it in. Just because I wanted to do it, I've done it as like a little fill-in job between all the rebuilds and God knows what else we've got to achieve. So he's got a Fraser B camshaft, which quite a nice profile, the Fraser B. So we're going to try it with that, and it'd be interesting to see. I've got a full set of figures off this engine because I've dynoed it and looked after it for a long time. So I think it first came to me in 2014 when I was working for Bob. That's when we first got involved with this engine. So I've got loads of figures off it. I know exactly what it does. So it'd be really interesting to see how much better it is with the new head on it. Where's the exhaust manifold gone? Oh, we've got... I'll put it over there. We have got a new exhaust by Mr. Parry. That's the original one, isn't it? No, not to worry. We'll come to that later. Right, we'll get this stripped, hopefully today, tomorrow, and then we can see where we are with it all. Right, we're on and running with David's engine now. It's been quite a good student, this one. It's not done a great deal, so we're not going to be too nasty to it because it is all fairly fresh, but the most important thing is it's got really good oil pressure now. So we've done a bit of running, we've messed about with his carbs a bit. We've gone from an F15 to an F16 emulsion tube, and we've changed the main jets a bit and the slow runners, and yeah, just tweaked his advance curve, and it all seems to be functioning. So it did show us quite good torque before for an R20 cam. We've seen like nearly 78 foot-pound of torque, so at 5. We're not going to rev the Kagulis off it, they're being a bit fresh. Just let the dyno let go. So go wide open. It has got a little misfire, you can hear it in the background, but it is on points. But my friend here likes points. So at 5,000 there, it's holding a good 75. Back it off. 5.5, it's doing the same. 6. 7, it's still holding a good 74 at 7. So yeah, I think we're going to put that in the out tray and say go and enjoy it in the car. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% happy with the carbs. They're off like a Rapier H120 and they're just not doing what I'd expect them to do. He's got a bit of a flat spot at the bottom, but he's going to work with that. He's a clever lad and he knows what he's doing with an engine, so we'll leave him to enjoy it now. He's got some oil pressure. Okay, YouTubers, yesterday David, we did his engine and got it in the out tray, and he said, you know, how can I help you? And I said, well, if you really want to help me, can you help me tidy up inside the unit? This is the second unit. So this is tidy by my terms. We've actually got a floor. And the Husky is out of the rain because I was getting a bit concerned about the amount of weather he was seeing. Now, the reason for this video really is to say Bernie has fixed the machine. It's fully operational. He's absolutely done me proud. So 2 years after we fitted it in here initially, it's now up and running perfectly. That's the new Star Delta box. Is it Star Delta? Yeah, Star Delta box that he's fitted. He's made all that himself because he's dead clever. He's even rewired the pump for the hydraulic pump, and he's put it all on the original switches. So this now is the pump for the Traverse. So we put it in gear. I'll just zoom out a second. So that's that. And also, you ready? It trips out in a second. That's it going from one to the other. Look at that. Absolutely belting. So 2 years in of paying rent on this unit for no reason other than all the rubbish I'd stored in here, we can actually start making some money with it. So Bernie, I can't thank you enough.
My job's done.
Eh?
My job's done.
Mate, you can have your Christmas dinner now, knowing you've brought this beautiful old machine back from the scrap bin, because no one else would even touch it. All they talked about was rewiring the motor and £3,000, which obviously brought me out in a big rash, you know. So Bernie, you've done me so proud. You know I'll look after you, and we'll make sure you've got a nice engine for your red van that you've been welding up, haven't you? Your little Hillman Imp van.
It's almost done.
We'll get a video on that. It'll be out in next year, so we'll have a nice new 930 and that. But yeah, absolutely buzzing. I've got some work to finish off, and then I'm going to come in here. I'm going to finish this crossflow block, and then I'm going to put the jag head on, and we'll do a video all about how to skim a jag head. Don't ask me how this works, but must be an expansion thing. These front pulley nuts are always FT on these, so give them a bit of a heat, and they always fly out. Just on me putting a new belt on. Finished a bit early because I'm on a late tonight. So Bergerac, are you as excited as me about what I've just done?
Well, I am, but have you been having a tidy up in here? It's looking quite smart.
Oh, I didn't think you'd notice, mate. Yeah, we've got the Hillman in here now. Just made a bit of space. My mate David helped me tidy up, but just finished skimming the Jaguar cylinder head.
Very good, I've got to say.
You happy with that?
It's not for me, is it?
Can I explain to you in 2 minutes why this machine is superior to any milling machine? Right, well, the milling machine has like a pedestal in the middle that supports it. So as the weight overhangs at the end, you get this sort of bending motion where the weight makes it tipple. Only on a worn one, you know, but most of them are worn. So you end up with the head tailing off at the edge, especially on a 6-pot head, because, you know, it's right at the end of the Traverse. But because this is fully supported, the bed is supported from one end to the other, it's just dead flat. Look at that. I'm absolutely...
Does look very good. What's that from?
It's from my mate Nick, and apparently it's in a Mark II Jaguar. It should have a 3.4, but it's got a 4.2. So yeah, mate, where's the new car?
It's coming next week. You can have a look at it.
You need to hurry up, mate. Yeah. I'm
Are
gonna
you funding the project? That's what I've heard.
behave. You're the one with all the money. I was gonna say, I was really wanting to make a bit of a video about your Fisher Price toolkit.
There's nothing wrong with my Fisher Price tools. You've seen the quality of my work.
It's remarkable how you turn such good work out. Yeah, brilliant. Well, anyway,
you don't need good tools when you've got skill.
oh mate, this mate is skill. I'm gonna go home and have a dream about my Churchill grinder. Oh god, he's got a voice, has he? Right, good morning YouTubers. I thought I'd give you a quick update on the Carter 1200 5-bearing engine. So I've just stripped it down quickly to get an idea of where I was at and make a plan basically. So I've just got a few of the things I need to get on with. I have put the head onto the block and the cylinder, the combustion chambers line up perfectly. Like I say, it's like it's meant to be, this head on this block. This is not normal imp centers. If you look, you'll see the wheel string was real close to that edge and it was quite in on that edge. So what I suspect this originally was done as is they'd used to do 20 thou that way and that way, so they could run a 75mm wheel string, which is the wheel string that's on this head. So I'll get the crank out and then we'll put the head on together and we'll have a look through and decide if it's spot on. I'm pretty sure it's good. Now, engine wise, I've got to say, fair play to Glen. It's in absolutely superb condition. The bearings are all good. The pistons, considering these have been in for quite some time, they are a little bit worn if you measure them. They're meant to be, this is a 74.5mm bore and these are like 74.38, whereas the new pistons are 74.45, so just about 2 thou down on the skirt clearance there. So that should all be nice with a quick hone. Now, what we're going to do, this is a new piston. Obviously, as I discussed before, this is going to be the inlet valve and this is going to be the exhaust valve. So we won't need to do much to this side, apart from change its position. But this side will need quite a lot of material removing. Now, one thing I did like about these JE pistons that I've got is, if we turn it over, you'll see it's got a big hollow on that side, but on this side it's full body. So that means, I mean, this one is just uniform all over. That means that this side has got a lot of material, so I don't have to stress about breaking through or anything when we come to machine the piston. So I'll do the bare minimum amount of material removal to keep the strength in the piston, but I think a new set of pistons in it. Obviously I've got to measure the head yet and decide if the wheel string grooves are uniform, etc. I've not done anything to it yet, and we're going to have to skim the block because it had a little incident where it got a bit warm at one stage in its last owner's possession. So he said, would you please make sure you skim the block? I just want to make sure everything's dead flat. So I said, yep, no worries, we'll do all that. So I'm going to crack on with that. Over here, I'm just warming the tank up because if you remember, these are the carburetors out of Edwards rally car, and I just give them a quick steam clean to get the loose muck off them, and now I'm going to put them in the ultrasonic tank and get them clean, so hopefully we'll get them cleaned as well this morning. Yesterday another little job popped in through the door. It's a customer I've dealt with before, a real nice chap, and he's in a bit of a pickle. He's had his car having some work done on it, and he said, I think a butterfly screw has come off and gone into the engine. Now I've checked the carburetors and I can't see that the butterfly screws have come out. They're both intact. So some debris must have got in somehow and wrecked his engine. So what he said is, can you fix it quickly? And you know, the engine ran fine. I don't necessarily need to have it fully refurbished. So I thought, when I took, you know, he came with the head off and he sent me some pictures of it. And I said, well, the head's not broken. I should be able to give it a quick skim, redo the wheel string groove, tidy up the chamber, reseat the valves, etc. And that'll be all good. And then I was turning my attention to the bottom end, and I thought, yeah, might hone, or we could always bore it to 73mm if it's got some big screw-ups in it. Put a new set of pistons, because even though it obviously wasn't an oil burner or anything, what happens is when they get hit like this, it squashes the top ringland and pinches the top ring. So that's scrap now. So I said, we'll put a new set of pistons in it. And then I was just about to let him go for it. I just thought, oh no, what's that? And when I look, if you look there, you can see there's a dirty great big crack. And going back to Adrian's engine where we saw the engine all smashed up, when the piston hits something on this side, at top of the centre, it makes it rock, and it's that rocking motion on the centre line of the little end pin that causes the liner to burst. So luckily it didn't end up in a complete mess. It was obviously in a very small piece, but it has caused it a big issue. So unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to put liners in it, or try and swap him out into another block. Whatever's the quickest route. Now, I do have some second-hand liners, so I've said to the lad, what I'll do is I'll pull the sump off, get the liner out, see if the liner I've got's the same make as this one, because there are a few different types, and if it is, we might just slot one liner into it, new set of pistons, keep it all cheap, get it back together for him, because like he said, he has got his new engine now that I've done for him. This is literally just going to be something for him to pot around in at weekend with his saloon car. So, right, I'll crack on and get this apart so we can see what's inside and see if we can get that liner out. Right, Bergerac, I finished. Pardon?
Your coolant's low.
Oh yeah, it's just that fresh.
It's no good.
Bergerac, I'm stuck here. I really am. I'm going to ask the viewers for help.
I think you should.
I can't put it on the
modern
dyno.
for you.
It is, isn't it? I need some points or a distributor or a Delauto or something. But I just at my wit's end with this Audi. It's to give you the description of what's going on. I've put a cam belt on it, so it's all fully serviced. I've checked the injectors are flowing correctly. They're all flowing within a certain rate. Bob said was fine. I've changed the spark plugs 3 times. I've had 7s, I've had 8s in it. I've had C59C Champions. I'm on Densos now. I've changed the air mass meter. I've done all sorts of different things, but nothing stops it from going flat when it's hot. When it's cold, Bersh, when you come out of the house in the morning and you drive, it's like a scolded cat. You don't want to rev it because it's cold, but it just picks up beautifully, you know. It feels like it wants to go. And as soon as it gets warm, it has like a misfire. Now, everything points towards temperature increase and the coils failing. But I have changed the coils for another complete set of coils off a known quantity, and it does exactly the same. So either the head gasket has blown between the pots because it's not losing any coolant and it's got a cylinder compression issue, but I can't see that because it runs too sweetly, or it's going lean for whatever reason. Because when it's stone cold, it has obviously an enrichment circuit.
What have you done with the fuel pump? Anything?
I put a fuel pressure gauge on. I put a new pump on it when I first got it. Admittedly, it wasn't a VDO one. It was just an aftermarket Cytec one. And I put a fuel pressure regulator, a fuel pressure gauge in view. So when I boot it, I can see if it lost fuel pressure. But it doesn't. It stays absolutely crack on. And it runs so sweetly. Look at this. Apart from the noisy power steering pump. Yeah, so I'm at a complete loss, I'll be honest with you. I think
what's metering the fuel other than the...
It has air mass, engine speed, throttle position, and it does have a boost sensor as well. So it has a few different inputs, and it has got knock sensors, but I can't see it being that. Off boost, it drives like absolutely.
What about your boost sensor?
Well, how would I measure that?
Well, have you not got another one?
That's a good point. Right, I'll try that next. Okay, if anybody on here is watching this and thinking, I've had this problem, I know what's up with this, please inbox me. Thank you very much. Got this little engine apart, which had the cracked liner, and believe it or not, I found a liner, a second-hand one, exactly the same. So I just cleaned him up. Now, this isn't the way to do it. You should be like taking all the liners out and re-gluing them all, but because it's just what we call like a plaster patch, because it's where do I draw the line, you know, we put new glue on the liners right now. Do we rebore it to 73mm? Do we put valves in it? Do we put guides in it? Do we put bearings, crank? You know, I'm just going to try and keep it to get him back running as fast as possible. But that's my problem. I'm going to decide when I've got to email the customer and let him know what it's going to cost. I just wanted to introduce you to, this is son of Frank, Shauno, my mate. You might remember him from probably about episode 40 where he did some work in here.
A little bit.
And yeah, and we've just been talking about how to up the views on YouTube so that we can retire and just do loads of stupid videos.
What we need.
Yeah, now my mate says that what we need to do is blow a Hillman engine up. He says we need to do like 10,000 RPM for like 10 minutes and then just see what fails. But I just don't know if I've got that in me to do that to an imp engine. So have you got any suggestions, mate?
Yeah, so V-twin Honda 90. It's been done before.
Alan Milliard's done that.
Yeah, I think he's done a couple of them. It's more like an L-twin, but yeah, that's what we need to do.
Oh, mate, he's another skill
I've got
levels,
the
I'm
parts.
afraid.
I've got the parts.
You've got the parts, yeah. Shauno's a Honda 90 specialist. Now, yeah, I'll be honest with you, Shauno, to outdo Alan, we'd have to do like maybe like what they call like a star engine or something. Not a star. What's it
Radial.
Called? A radial Honda 90.
Mate, I think we've gone a bit.
But I think,
we're losing it.
I don't know if I would do it. How about, why don't we cut an imp engine in half, right? And then snot it onto a Honda 90 3-speed gearbox.
You've got the ideas, mate. You've got the ideas.
Mate, that would be good, wouldn't it? But yeah, unfortunately, for the time being, we've just got to keep on chewing the job out the door so we can afford to dream about all these things.
Dreamland.
Yeah, dreamland, mate. Well, what have you got there? Is that little Prezi you've got there for your son?
Yeah, this is for Kai, big boy jumper.
Big boy jumper, Shrigley hoodie.
Shrigley hoodie for him.
Mate, he's what's it called? He's a good lad, your lad. He works at the scrapyard and he always looks after me. Belting lad. Right. Thanks, Shauno, for being on, and I'm going to get this liner glued in and email it. Pulled up outside my unit. I just want to know what a lad's attitude will be towards my next plan. It's not mine yet, but I'm putting a bid in for it. What do you reckon? You know the black Passat that had the crash at the back? What do you reckon to cutting the back of it off and making it into a camper van?
Yeah. You are dangerous.
Do it.
You are dangerous. We like those. You could do that with Sierras and Saab 900s in the 90s, didn't they? They had that.
Oh yeah, StarCraft.
This is what you need to do. Yeah. You need to go onto YouTube and go and find a podcast that talks you out of stupid ideas like this. Because we know you love a podcast.
Mate, look at that. Look, you can lie down. It's just the fact it's on a sooty van that makes it unappealing because it looks unstable. But that on the back of the Passat, imagine it, it'd be like a motorhome.
Be awesome, mate.
Or,
Start it this afternoon.
about a Husky. What?
When you're hanging out the back.
Good morning, YouTubers. It's Saturday morning. I'm in the workshop next to the heater, my best mate, so keep him warm. I just come to put these carburetors back together and I thought I'd make a little video just saying they've come out of the ultrasonic tank. I'm really pleased with them. They're not particularly pretty, but they are really clean. So all the shale and mud from when Ed was rallying last year's out of them. So we'll get them built back together now. And also I was going to talk for a second about the engine that arrived yesterday. The one from Peter that had got the cracked liner. This is the head off it. I've stripped the head. It's actually a really nice head. It's an Andy Chesman 64, quite an early number. I'm going to weld it across here because this is where they always crack. I'll just do it as a precaution. And then I'm going to skim it. Try and get rid of as much of this damage as possible. We'll put some support screws in. Just looking at the head, it's a big valve head. The short turn is particularly nice on it. Be quite a good head. This should do some decent power. So I'm excited. Although it is on Stromberg, so it won't be that good, but it should do a good 75 horsepower. Anyway, that's that. And then, if you remember, we had the cracked liner out of it yesterday. I emailed him and said, you know, we made a plan on how to fix it, and he said, yeah, sounds fine. That put one liner in it. So I put one liner in it, glued it up last night. It's set. And you can see it's just a bit low on that side, probably from previous machining. So I'm just giving it a tickle cut. It's caught it there. I reckon another 5 or 10 thou, and we'll have them flat, and then we can get on with it. So over there, I've just got these. These are the rods out of my mate. Oh, Gordon Bennett. I've forgotten his name now. His name is Glen. Gleneth. So I'm just reaming the rods, and then we're going to take them to Bob's and get them honed, just so that they can run with the 18mm pin. So I've done one there. It's just nice and tight on there. So we'll get that honed at Bob's on the proper honer, and then we can get a dry build on and start working out where we need to put these valve cutouts for this posh new head of his. Okay, YouTubers, Barry has arrived in the workshop with his Paulie 930. Now, we have seen this engine before back in episode 18, haven't we, Barry? Welcome to the unit, Barry, and thanks for agreeing to come on Shrigleytube. That's a nice t-shirt you've got on there.
Only the best.
I tell you what, mate, you've used your brain there. That's like worth 10% discount, that.
Remember that, folks.
Right. Barry, we last year, it had, did it have an oil pressure issue?
It basically had
virtually no oil pressure. I brought it to you. You said, shall I strip the whole engine down? I said, no, just sort out the oil pressure issue. The top's fine. So you completely rebuilt the bottom end, new crank, new pump, new pickup pipe, everything else. Took it back home, put it in the car. It ran beautifully, had oil pressure, all good. And then it started losing water and overheating a bit. So when I checked, it appears the head gasket's gone.
Right, okay. Well, I remember now, this is the engine. I did the video where we slipped the crankshaft out without taking the head off and the timing cover, didn't we? Right, so we dynoed it as well. We dynoed two at the same time. This one and another one which had a sport cam in. So, whoops-a-daisy, Domino Rally in here. Right, so you've also brought with you what looks like quite a nice single 40 Jan speed and a pair of Delautos. So we're going to upgrade this possibly to run with them. But what I thought we'd do first was, if we get it apart and have a look, the bottom end should be fine. And we'll just decide if it wants a head, if you want to put liners in it, or what. We'll go through the options anyway. There's loads of options to spend loads of your money. But we'll work out what's best for you. Right, let's get the head off it. And sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, yeah, fine, just crack on.
Yeah, let's get it apart and see what we see. Right, we've got the cylinder head off Baz's engine now, and unfortunately head gasket's just blown in the centre there, so it's a little bit of a hole in it. We're just going to replace the head gasket with an original Reince type gasket and put it back together because it's basically fit. I've already done the bottom end, as you remember from last year. So yeah, I think that's the plan in it, Baz. And we're gonna put this single 40 on a manifold, and I'll jet that up for you. I've got an idea what to put in it. Great. And we'll get you a linkage and stuff like that. So
perfect.
It's all ready to pop on, and you can go to, what's your first event? Is it?
It will be no, it'll probably be full English, whatever that is, if it's happening.
Right. Oh yeah.
I'm taking the Datsun to Ricos, so.
Oh right, perfect, perfect. With your new power steering.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, where's Nick? Nick,
hello.
Don't be running off.
Hiding.
We've got another imponer in the workshop.
No, I'm not an imponer.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
You're an imp fan.
Once
I
an
wouldn't say
imponer,
that either.
always an imponer.
You've got it in you, Nick.
You think?
Yeah.
I think I've got rid of it.
I just seen you looking at his manifold thinking.
I was looking.
Yeah,
I like to look, I don't have to touch.
Right, you brought me a box of treasure. God knows what we're going to do with that. But
You're
more
under
importantly, Nick,
instructions.
your cylinder head, it's ready for you. This is. Do you realise how important this is?
Well, I could see you getting very excited the other night.
Did you watch the video? Yeah.
I watched the video with your serial killer goggles on, yeah.
I know. Yeah, looks a bit of a weirdo, doesn't it?
A bit.
A bit of a wrong. And I get carried away in a moment, and then when I watch it, I just cringe. In fact, I showed some of my videos to Russell, and you know what he said to me?
Go on.
He said, "Dad, you're just so cringe." He wants to take over the YouTube channel.
Kind of him.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, he doesn't have the appeal for the engines and the grinding machine that I have. But that there is basically ready for you to go and pop on the bottom end now. So if you've done the bottom end, is it all ready to go?
No, the crank's in the pickup.
Oh, the crank's in the pickup. Just show us that bearing again. Yeah, I think it's going to want to grind that.
It's not going to polish up that, you're not
No, I think it's clean cracking
Fair
that.
enough.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, well, that's
I'll
great.
take this away then and,
Yeah.
and lap them in. And
I put your valve back in there, so
Yeah.
it stayed with
I'm
it.
going to get a new one. I don't like the top of that.
No, I don't think it fits that way either.
No, but just so it didn't fall out when I picked it up.
So let's just cut to the chase. Are we any closer to buying an imp?
No.
Why not?
Why not?
I'm going to do you a belted engine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, how long will the head gasket last?
It won't have one, it'll have wheel strings.
He didn't do that head gasket.
Oh,
wasn't an idea,
Baz
I
to my
guess.
defence straight away. Right, well, thanks for being on Shrigleytube, and I'll see you Sunday night. Okay, I thought I'd put Baz's head straight on the miller as I'd finished skimming the liners on that block for Peter. So I've just run across it, and it's dead flat, but really interestingly, I don't know if you can see that there. It's just got a little low bit where the fire ring had sat. This is why anything that's on a gasket, not so critical on wheel strings, because the wheel string groove determines the amount of squish on the wheel string. But on a head gasket engine, if you ever do change the head gasket, it's definitely worthwhile skimming the head, because you can measure it with a straight edge, but they just have little sinking areas, we'll call them, where they're not always what you think they'll be. So obviously once you skim it, it gives you a true witness of where you are. So we'll give that another 5 hours and hopefully it'll be done then. Congratulations, YouTubers, if you're still awake, well done. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. I'll look forward to seeing you hopefully Wednesday or Thursday night if we can get a video with Tim and some in-car video from him. If he'll share that with us, I'm sure he will. Okay, have a great week. Bye for now.